Welcome back, fellow reefers. This week we were invited to Hershey Pa to visit a viewer of this channel's reef tank and his new WaterBox Aquarium. We were talking about Mike Andrews and his new WaterBox build and his older system, which was simply amazing. Before we begin, I'd like to thank Mike for the invite and his lovely wife for making a complete stranger feel so comfortable welcoming my daughter and myself into his home. After a fast stop at Panera, we were on our way at 7 a.m. Dealt with the usual traffic in Pittsburgh, but once we got through the Fort Pitt tunnels, it was smooth sailing from that point on. 4 hours later, we arrived at Mike's home and we were welcomed by him and his beautiful hunting dog. Mike took us down to see the main displays, and I must say, I was really taken back. What an exceptional tank he has. One of the best I have seen. Now let's not confuse this with other tanks that have 200 types of SPS acros growing wall to wall. What I'm talking about is a carefully placed rockscape, and the placement of his oldest, and from what I took away, his favorite pieces to date. This tank, which I believe was a 190, was simply an inspiration. His corals are placed as though a professional landscaper came in and placed them. Mike's love for collecting and maintaining bonsai shows within his aquarium as well. It's like he uses the same technique that he would apply to trimming bonsai to his corals, keeping them trimmed and well manicured. One thing I always are on the lookout for, and my daughter is as well, is finding pests. Needless to say, just as well as the meticulous time he takes with corals, you can see shine as well with maintenance. Not a single aptasia could I find in his aquarium, nor could I see any annoying bubble algae that most reefers end up with. Now, we spent hours there with Mike, talked all things reefing. We went to lunch, and I have to say, it was nice to meet another reefer that is passionate about the hobby. He was discussing the issue of vermitid snails that he used to have, and some bumblebee snails took care of that problem. And the passion shows due to the fact that he has so much coral that he could frag and sell, but does not play the whole I'm going to frag so much stuff and sell it as shows. He does not play that game. It's just true enjoyment for Mike. Now, upon talking with Mike earlier before the trip, I asked him if he would mind testing my water for added peace of mind that I was not going crazy thinking my numbers were right on target. He was happy to do this, and his results came out pretty much the same as mine. Ultra low nutrients are what we found as well. 0 nitrates and 0 phosphates. Could this be the issue behind my SPS problems? We came to the conclusion that most likely it is. Speaking of which, the Triton ICP test results are back, and next week we're going to go over what they are to get a better look at the tank issue. Now, Mike also told me ahead of time to bring a really big cooler because he wanted to give me some frags. I was happy to do so, and I said to him, what are you thinking price-wise? So I could stop, at the local ATM, get some cash, and take it with me so I can give him some money. This is the first time anybody's ever said this to me and tells me he's going to say nothing. No cost. Just come on out. Talk about a humble guy. Now, I am floored by the frags. I was thinking, 2, 3, 4 frags. No, he literally filled up my coral quarantine. As he was saying, what do you want? I could have had anything in his tank. Now, with the issues I've been having, I would not dare ask for a home wrecker, a Walt Disney, or any of the extreme high-end corals. Not to mention, he was so generous that, well, that would have just been downright rude. I simply said, whatever you think, Mike. I'm happy to get any frags, period. He was simply paying it forward in the hobby, just as I will do someday as my tank grows and flourishes. I only got footage of his corals inside his tanks and did not cover his equipment. Why, you ask? Well, to be honest, it did not feel as though I was there for business, to shoot a video. I simply just enjoyed having great conversation with a reefer that knows what he is doing and has had a successful reef tank running for 8 years. His brand new WaterBox aquarium was stunning. I have never seen a WaterBox in person, and I have to say, when it's time to upgrade to a new tank, it will be a WaterBox. Right now, he only has frags inside it and has been up for 2 months running. But spring, I would love to return to Mike's and really get into everything as far as a video for all of you. Let Mike essentially give you a tour on video of his equipment, his dosing habits, feeding habits, because with a tank like his, with his knowledge, you yourself could have a tank like that as well if he passes that knowledge on to you. Once again, I'd like to say thanks to Mike and thank you all for watching. So until then, we'll see you on the next one.